Supergirl 37, written by Jodie Hauser, art by Rachel Stott, who I've never heard of, but
me neither.
not
But
bad.
I really enjoy her art. It's got that bubbliness that Maguire
Yeah.
had, but in her own way, and it's still very good action sequences.
Do you know what's funny about this is that I was a little bit worried, even though I love Hauser, that okay, it's a tie-in thing where she's going to be this infected version. You know, like that's a red flag for me usually with a book is when you're doing this sort of tie-in thing. But what they're doing here is not only interesting from the perspective of just like what Supergirl is doing, but they're treating it as because Batman and Superman both show up at one point. Because Supergirl saves the school bus that's going to go off the cliff. So there's still some Supergirl in there. There's still this need to be a hero in there.
She is still a hero in a dark, twisted type way.
Because, of course, the thing she does after saving the bus, which she sort of puts down kind of ungently on its side, and the kids are all kind of rattled by it.
Ungently is putting it nice, Pete. She throws it over her shoulder.
But she goes and grabs the driver of this truck, who claims that it was an accident. That there was, like her, what was it he says? He's tire or something went, I don't know. But Superman shows up to try and stop her. Batman shows up in the Batwing, but they set up this idea that Kara's not quite as dark as the other ones because whether it's because the serum was designed specifically for Superman and not her, so it's not got the 100% effect, or if it's something else. Is it because she's Supergirl? I don't know.
So I thought about this in that I feel like the same thing would have happened to Superman, that the inherent goodness of them would, yes, they're going to be infected, but it's not going to play out. Everyone else has been infected almost has a dark streak to them, if you think about it. That said, I hadn't read Scarab. I haven't read the Deathbringer one. But both Donna Troy and Jaime Reyes have a little bit of a darkness there with them. Commissioner Gordon definitely does. Billy Batson does, and rounding things out, Sky Tyrant, right? We just talked about that and Hawkman. So I love this twist, though, that if this was Hauser or whatever, that no, she still thinks of herself as a hero, and that they're just going to get in her way, and she has to do it herself.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the pages in this are made up with the fight with her and Superman, and then Batman shows up in the Batwing. I love after she sort of rips Batman out of the Batwing, and then just throws him over her shoulder, and like Superman has to catch him, obviously, because he's flying through the air. And so Superman catches him. So we have Superman like lifting Batman up, officer and gentleman style, which obviously Batman never likes, but it's the way it's got to be.
However, also her talking crap to Batman about, she goes, so very sorry, Batman, but I'm not one of the teenagers who take orders from you. How many of them have you gotten killed at this point? And like, really, it's just one. Steph did have her. We thought she was dead, but she was squirreled away.
Is that in continuity? I don't know.
One is enough, but the fact that that's Hauser poking at Batman and the sidekick thing, I really like. But
she ends up,
and then her going and thinking about Krypton.
Yeah, but there's a subtle touch here I love when she's like in civvies. It's Joker colors. She's wearing purple and green. I love that little touch.
Well, So she goes and she starts thinking about Krypton and how she's not gonna let that happen here. Right, like this was actually a gift, and this awakened who she needed to be, and that's where Pete says she goes and she steals clothes to dress to try to blend in, but like Pete said, it's purple and green.
And she goes Joker to colors. Speak to Ben, who's like, I've not seen you, and
doesn't she runs into him? Right?
She does. She's walking through and she hears the voice and says out his name. And he's like, hey, like, we almost started dating and you ran off. Like, you could have just told me if something was wrong. But
which I like how that plays into her missing time for what she was doing in the Draco stuff.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was handled real well.
But she starts kind of like having like, basically, when she's hearing laughter, she's hearing Joker laughing in her head, and it's giving her sort of like, a blinding headache, and she speeds off, kind of almost in front of him, where he doesn't quite see her use super speed, but it's like, wait, that was weird. Like she just ran off. And we end the book with her sort of coming face to face with essentially the ghost of the Batman Who Laughs inside her head. You know, it's not really him that's there, but it's like his influence in her head that's clearly trying to convince her to go further to the dark multiverse side of things. Because he says to her, "You still don't get the joke, do you? But you will, ha 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 ha." You know, so he's in there trying to like sort of coerce her and make her like sort of take that final step into complete darkness. But you know, really cool. Like I say, the art's really good. Like it is definitely curtailed. There's one page when she's punching Superman where it kind of extends Superman's neck as if she's punched his head like out of its socket almost. But the art's generally pretty good and kind of fits the, like you say, the more bubbly attitude that Supergirl as a book tends to have.
And I love Hauser's voice for Kara. I was saying on Twitter, it feels familiar but also fresh. Like it's this weird thing because it opens up with her saying, "I'm Kara Zor-El," and I immediately thought of the TV show. You know how they always have the like, "My name's Barry Allen" on the flat.
Yeah, my name is Kara Zor-El. I am from Krypton. I was sent, you know, as my world was dying. My cousin had already grown up and become Superman.
Yeah, and so I felt that here, and I thought, okay, that's a smart, you know, on here. But then there's that darkness underneath it too because she's infected, and I hope Hauser's in this for the long haul because
I do too.
I really enjoy it. And this team, we know through solicits they're going to be going through March, right? Which makes sense for
that said though, the March issue still has infected Supergirl, at least in some capacity. Right. So my hope is that once we switch back to normal Supergirl, that Hauser's still going to be there in the book. I really want that.
I do too, and I think she is just on the account of. She was announced as part of that Superman special, right? Yeah. So absolutely. And that had, you know, Rucka and
had all the Superbook writers doing like one short story in that book,
right. So I don't feel that's tied to the infected stuff. So I'm hoping because Supergirl's been pretty consistent from Rebirth on.
Yeah, like
there's been some hits or misses. Orlando was decent. Like the one miss I can remember is when he tried to interject his. You know, his thing, that weird team book. Like, you know, and then and Draco took over and we were out in space for a while and it was a lot of fun and
Draco's stuff I loved. My favorite part of Orlando was all right actually. I enjoyed Orlando, but the best part of Orlando was that arc where Jodie Hauser, funnily enough, co-wrote the book with the high school stuff. That was really good. So and then Draco's been great. So Supergirl is worked out okay. Obviously, had a break where it wasn't there for a few months, but other than that, it's been on top form. So obviously we keep saying that about Batgirl as well. Batgirl's been oddly consistent since the start of Rebirth. So good. What are you giving this issue?
I'm gonna give this one a 9.
I am going to give this a very solid 8.5. Very solid 8.5.